Retro Ghetto.
Hi everybody, welcome back to the Retro Ghetto. Now, it's no secret that I love a good video game subset, whether that be the Silver Box Konami Super Nintendo set, the PlayStation 3 Essentials, that was quite a journey, the PlayStation Hits, there's the Only on PlayStation sleeves, there's the Lego sleeves, etc, etc, etc. Now, I love subset collecting for various different reasons. One is being an avid, lifelong collector. It's a bit of a disease, right? I don't have a choice. This is just part of who I am at this point. It's a way of keeping me focused. When you're going for like full sets of games, like the Super Nintendo, for example, breaking it down and concentrating on those smaller sets, whether it be the Konami set I've just mentioned, or a Disney set, or whatever it may be, shmups, it kind of is a way of keeping you focused, and it gives you those shorter term goals. It gives you that success of completing a set, even if the overall full set is a long way off into the future. Also, how good do they look on the shelf? Now, one of the facets of many that I enjoy about collecting video games is displaying them, curating my games room, making it look as good as possible. And for me, some of the best aesthetics in my entire room are those subsets, when the spines sort of like go together, when they're all uniform and you can display them. I just think it's absolutely fantastic. I love it. And there's also the element of learning. Now, I've been on many a long journey with some of these subsets, and often going down these rabbit holes that I'm not sure other collectors have ever been down. You have to learn quite a lot, and sometimes you can unearth some real strange games that only came out in certain regions, and games you never even knew existed that you had to now find to complete the subset. So yeah, it's fair to say I'm a huge advocate of the subset, but I have outdone myself this time. Not only in terms of rarity, and these things are ridiculously rare, but also in terms of beauty. Now, I consider video games to be art. I consider the covers of this stuff to be art in its truest form, and there's no better example of that than this set here. So this sleeve set has been designed and illustrated by Thomas Seger Enyak, an artist, illustrator and cartoonist from Bratislava, Slovakia. I absolutely adore this guy's art style. It's so unique. As soon as I see it now, I just think of him. I'm of course going to put a link in the description below so you can go and check out some of his fantastic artwork over on his Instagram page. And he is of course why I'm dubbing this set the Enyak sleeve set. Now, the reason why these are so exclusive, so hard to find, is that these were only available in certain video game stores in Slovakia. Yes, a small landlocked European country bordered by Poland, Ukraine, Hungary, Austria and the Czech Republic, with a population of just 5.4 million. Now, for perspective, the city of London has a population of over 9 million, so that just goes to show you how small the country of Slovakia is. And the Slovakian shop in question is one called Play Go Smart, so think of this as being like Game that we get here in the UK, or maybe something more akin to GameStop if you're stateside. But yeah, these were only available in those stores. There was no other way to get a hold of them. There was nothing online, not via the shop itself, not via the artist, nothing. To my knowledge, the only way you were getting these was being in Slovakia, in a certain shop, at a certain time, and making this an impossibly difficult set to get a hold of. But as you can see, I managed to do it. So the question now is, how did I manage to get my hands on them? Well, my friend and fellow Ghetto gang member Lewis, aka Liquid Toon, he found these. I think he found some via a Slovakian contact of his. I don't know, he's the subset king, right? What I managed to do is secondary to what Lewis can do. But anyway, so he found these, he brought these to my attention, and then the hunt really began. That's when I thought, right, I've got to find these. Now, there was one listing on eBay for the full run of the initial 10 that were released, and it was coupled with the Only on PlayStation sleeves, another set which was massively spiked in price, and from memory it was over £1,000 or best offer for both collections. Now, I was able to chat to the seller, and we went backwards and forwards a little bit. I explained that I already have the Only on PlayStation sleeves, and it was just these Enyak sleeves that I was now after. We ended up moving the discussion to Instagram, and it turns out he was a watcher of the channel. We'd had previous dialogue and communication, and I want to say, what a great guy. And he's got a fantastic Instagram page as well, so make sure you go and check him out. His account is called Eat My Retro Short, so yeah, go and drop him a follow, because yeah, he does really nice photography with all his gaming stuff. And it turns out he picked these up from a German collector who claimed to have the biggest PlayStation 4 collection in the world. Apparently he was on YouTube once upon a time. I don't think he's no longer active. But yeah, he got them from him, and then I was able to secure a deal to get them myself. We're going to talk about pricing and how much I paid for these a little bit later on, but let's take a look at them, shall we? Let's get into these, because these are stunning. These are by far my favourite set in my entire collection. I'm going to go through these one by one. They're numbered, so we don't have to worry about what order to do it in. And I'm going to try not to say multiple times, this one's my favourite, because my favourite seems to change every time I look at them. And once we get to the end of these, I'm going to show you guys a bit of a surprise, a bit of an Easter egg within them as well. But we're going to kick it off with The Last of Us. I mean, it's just, yeah. Look at it, man. You get an idea now for this guy's artwork. All of them are signed as well with the individual dates. So this one was 2020, so this is when it started. Yeah, The Last of Us. And then we move into what has got to be... I don't know, it's hard to say my favourite, because so many of these could be my favourite, but this one, oh my days, look at this. Ghost of Tsushima, absolutely stunning. And a cover worthy of being on one of the most beautiful games ever made, in my opinion. That orange is just so vibrant. And again, you'll be seeing all the imagery on the back as well. It's not just a case of them having nothing on the back like the only on PlayStation ones. The artwork is just continually wrapped around. And then we look at this. Mafia, look at this. So I played through Mafia 2 last year, and seeing that old school like Tommy gun, and then on the back, oh man, these are the sort of like, this is what I mean when I say a piece of art. When you go into a gallery and you see people just staring at the art, getting lost in it, I'm getting lost in these sleeves. I look at these sleeves, I pick them up, and I'm noticing new little bits of imagery that I've never seen before. Some of these are like a Where's Wally puzzle. There's so much going on. The next one here is Crash Bandicoot 4. And this is all about the reverse for me. When you sort of spin it over, oh mate. Oh, I said I wasn't going to say each one's my favourite, right? I might stick with Ghost of Tsushima, but look at Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And you can see why these are so sought after, and why they're going to become even more so. I mean, not only are they beautiful, and they look fantastic together, but such big IPs, even if people just wanted to do it individually, like an Assassin's Creed collector, for example, he now knows that there's an additional Valhalla sleeve out there. And if you look at the back, again, with some of the character art, fantastic. And then we get to Spider-Man. Obviously done in a more comic book style. Not my favourite one, this one. I think just because the bar's been set so high with some of the others. And then we get back on track with Cyberpunk. And I'm so glad he's left like the writing on it, because I really love the text from Cyberpunk. And then on the back, I believe that was the Keanu Reeves character. It's even got a cat with a little original PlayStation controller. There's loads of like little Easter eggs and things hidden in these. Oof. Oof. Another special one. Resident Evil Village, look at that. And again, when you're talking about like the horror collectors out there, the Resident Evil collectors, you know you need this. Oh my days. And then we get to Ratchet and Clank, Rift Apart. And now we're getting into 2021. You can see like this signing on the front. And then all the characters on the back. And the final one, number 10, Horizon Forbidden West. Arguably the one which is the most suited to ENIAC's art style. It just works perfectly, I think, with Horizon games. And you've got Aloy on the back. And right, so let me just quickly show you guys. I'm going to quickly put these back into order. So here's the beauty of not only these, a lot of subsets, individually stunning, but when you put them all together, something else. And these haven't just been thrown out as individual pieces. and then you sort of put them together as a collector. These have all been put together as a collection. This has all been foreplanned, because when you look at it on this side, they start off with the PlayStation 4 symbol, and then obviously as they've gone to the PlayStation 5 and 4, you can see it's just turned into PlayStation. They've all got the E on the bottom, which I'm assuming is for ENIAC, so it's nice to have that continuity throughout. But if we spin them around, again I'm being very careful because I'm never going to get another set of these. If we spin them around and we look at this side, now we're really tapping into that collector's mindset, right? So they're all individually numbered 1 to 10. Yeah, which is like the best trick in the book if you want to trap collectors. So we've got 1 to 10 there. They've also got individual logos on the sides that represent each game. And not only that, there's still one more trick up the sleeve of these. So this original run, this numbered 10, you'll be seeing it now on screen, the overlay, but the backs all go together. So it kind of runs to make one continuous image, and I love things like that. I just love the attention to detail. And you can tell that this is an artist that's, yeah, is all about the art, as you would assume, right? Just the care that's gone into it, the foreplanning, the work. Absolutely stunning. And one of the few things I think I genuinely feel privileged to own. Normally as a collector, you know, I put the work in. It's my money, it's my effort, tracking it down, etc. But with these, I just feel privileged to own them. They're so beautiful. They're going to be such short supply that to have these pieces of art in my collection just feels like a real honour. Now, it doesn't end there. You might think, well, I've got them all. I've got the 1 to 10. Now, I love the fact that I've got the numbered run, but we think there's 6 more out there. So there's no real like official list or anything, but just sort of looking at research and looking at ENIAC's Instagram page and stuff, we think there are 6 more designs that have since been released. I don't think they're numbered. I just think it's a separate run. I would love to get my hands on them. If there's anybody from Slovakia out there watching, or anybody that has contacts, give me a shout, because I would love to add the additional ones to this. But to my knowledge, the additional 6 that have been released are Silent Hill 2, Stellar Blade, System Shock, Elden Ring, that's a nice one, right? Black Ops 6, and Assassin's Creed Shadows. So the journey goes on. This isn't a case of done for me. If we've got one for Assassin's Creed Shadows, which only came out a couple of weeks ago, we know this relationship is still ongoing. So how many more are we going to get? I don't know. All I do know is I want them all. They're so nice, man. So yeah, hopefully I'll find a way to add even more of these to the collection. Make sure you keep it locked to the channel to keep up to date with my collecting journey. And as and when I pick these things up, I'll be sharing it with you guys. But let's turn my attention to how much I paid for these then. So I was able to get these sleeve only, so no games, just the pieces of cardboard, £35 each, which I think over time we're going to realise is an absolute bargain. Now, when you say £35 each, it sounds quite palatable. I'm happy with that. When you say £350 all in for some cardboard, this is where I hope Mrs. RG's already turned off by now, because yeah, it's a lot of money, undeniably, but I just don't think you're going to get many opportunities to buy these, never mind for less than that. So once again, I want to give a massive shout out to Eat My Retro Shorts for hooking me up. Really appreciate the deal, my friend, and I honestly couldn't be happier, man. I'm genuinely elated with having these in my hands. It's not been a long journey by any means. I've only known about these for a couple of weeks, but as soon as I knew about him, I was on it like a dog after a bone. And yeah, I now have them, and there's only one thing left to do, right? We need to get them placed here in the 3.0. So let's get these things displayed. So my first thought was that I wanted them to be in this area, because we've got the only on PlayStation sleeves here. We've got the PlayStation hits, so we've already got 2 of my PlayStation 4 subsets here, and it would have been nice to add the ENIAC set as well, but there's no room at the inn, and I love how these shelves are looking, so I'm not going to do some big drastic rearrange. What I think we're going to have to do is find somewhere else in the game room that these can work. Now, the other PlayStation 4 area within the room is down here, and once again, not much room at the inn. However, one of the areas I think we could work with is here. So my Mega Drive section carries on down to this section here, and it's a little bit separate from the other Mega Drive area. So I think maybe I'm going to take these Mega Drive games out, put them back with the bulk of the collection, and get the ENIAC sleeves put on their own separate shelving. I think they deserve to have their own place in the room, so let's see if that works. So I honestly thought that would be the answer to the problem, but yeah, I mean, I took the time to take them all off, put them all on, and they wouldn't quite sit right, because if I had them fully leaned back, then you couldn't see the artwork, so they're kind of stood up, which in my opinion looks a bit awkward. There's a gap. Also, because there's 10 and 3 shelves, you can't get an even number. I thought it'd be okay. I thought Mario would cover them, but it's just not quite on point. So, back to the drawing board. So, if you're thinking he's done a good job and it looks great, you'd be wrong. It's getting late, my brain's not working like it should, but by having them sort of like all coming out from one central game, my favourite one, Ghost of Tsushima, obviously that doesn't really divide by 10, so we do have a spare game, but I'm running out of hours, but at least you get like a glimpse as to how this is going to look. On a future vlog, we'll lock this in, we'll get it all sorted out properly. I moved the PlayStation 2 along over there, but yeah, I'm definitely going to find a way to have something similar to this. This artwork needs to be on display, and let me know in the comment section below which of these sleeves is your favourite, what you think of this set overall, and yeah, is this the best subset that's out there, because I think it probably is. But guys, I really appreciate you watching this one. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. Thank you very much. Play your games, keep it retro. I'll see you real soon. Take care.
You're watching the Retro Ghetto.
Ghetto.
Ghetto!
Yeah!
Lock into the retro ghetto. Come and have a look around the ghetto. We got Sonic and Staples settle. Lock into the retro ghetto.